One of the most important skills in dating is understanding the difference between interest and neediness. So, what are the differences? So, a lot of men are saying things like, well, I'll just never find the one, or I've been alone for forever and it's just never going to happen. They're resigned to their fate, it seems like. The impression is I've tried everything and then just nothing has worked. Well, here's the thing, the onus is still on you. It's still on you to make those changes, however big or small, to make it work, to figure out what you're doing wrong, figure out the thing the difference that makes the difference for you. That's why I can't give too many specific, like, you need to do this, you need to do that, because it differs for everyone. But let's talk about neediness uh, as compared to general interest, normal interest. So, healthy interest would be things like curiosity about somebody. So, you're curious about her. You're asking insightful questions, interesting questions, actually trying to find things about what she's talking about that interest you, that you're curious about. Maybe thinking, oh man, what are some questions that maybe nobody's ever asked her? Get to know her, right? You're enjoying the conversation. If you're actually enjoying the conversation, that's interest. You don't need it, you're enjoying it. That's different than needing her in your life and wanting this. Purely looking at her as sexual, although there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but purely as that, as a need, a sexual need, is creepy, and that comes across as needy and wanting and not attractive. And then expressing attraction respectfully. Now, what does that mean, especially in this day and age, you're thinking? Well, it could mean a million things. At some point, you just have to trial and error. But you're probably going to know when it's too far. Think before you do or say something, right? A lot of times, subtle is something she's going to pick up on anyway. You don't think, well, I have to be more, dramatic or more obvious. Nah, probably not. So try subtle first, maybe a few very subtle things. But just showing curiosity and interest goes a long way with her thinking, I wonder if he's interested in me. So don't discount that right off the bat. But what creates neediness? So, yeah, that's what healthy interest is. What's neediness? Neediness is fear of losing approval. So you're constantly thinking, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Does she like me? Does she like me? Does she like me? That's not attractive, because then you need something from you. You need her to feel a certain way. You need her to respond a certain way. Yuck. Gross. Don't do that. And then insecurity about your own self-worth. Now, how do you do that? Well, you don't necessarily do that, but if you are insecure about your self-worth, she's probably going to pick that up. Okay? And then seeking validation. You want approval for everything. You want to be liked. You want to be, and maybe you're trying to be the nice guy. So you're agreeing with everything, right? Everything, yes. Oh, I like that too. I like to do. If you don't like something, then say it. In a funny, possibly flirtatious way. And as human beings, we're very sensitive to emotional dependency. We can feel it. We may not even know it, but we feel it. We can feel, oh, this person needs something from me, wants something from me. That's not attractive. Generally, people are attracted to individuals who appear self-sufficient and emotionally stable. That's why you don't have to do a million things to make yourself appealing to women. If you're self-sufficient in your career, in your life, whatever, and you're emotionally stable, you might say emotionally intelligent, things you could work on. That's kind of all you need, right? That's going to be something where you're less likely to be emotionally dependent, because attraction grows when interest becomes a choice. You see that difference? Not from emotional need. You're choosing to have a conversation. You're choosing to be with her and talk with her because you're finding things to be curious about, to be interested in her about. And then natural attraction can also often, blossom from there when you don't need her to be attracted to you. At some point, you could even tell yourself, I don't care. You do, but walk through the world as though you don't need it and see what happens. I will see you on the next video.